There we go. Video number 2, slides 6 through 9. So today we're finding the volume of a prism. So particularly today in this slide, find the volume of the rectangular prism. So to find the volume of a rectangular prism, we need the formula for the volume, which calls for big B, or area of the base, times the height. They're not giving us the area of the base. So we have to do a little bit of work before. So we need to wonder a few things. First is, what is the shape of the base? And I see here, the base is a rectangle. So I'm going to write here, rectangle, right? Or you can draw it if you don't want to write the word. This is formula to find the area of the base, which in this case is a rectangle, length times width. So the length of the rectangle here is 14, and the width is this one, right? Which it could also be this, right? So I'm gonna say, okay, the width of this rectangle is 5, correct? So I'm gonna list the data, 14 inches here and 5 inches. So we substitute big B equals to 14 times 5. So that will give us 70 squared inches, right? So that's the area of our base, or the big B. We already know this. So we listed on our data for the formula for the volume, which is 70 square inches. Then the height of the prism, which is what we need for the formula of the volume, is the distance between the two bases. And you see here, right, we have that is 7 inches. So we substitute these two values on this formula. Volume is big B, or area of the base, times height. So we substitute volume equals 70 times 7. So in this case, it's going to be 490, right? Cubic inches. So we will write it right here, 490 cubic inches. There we go. Right. So that's a volume of this rectangular prism, which is how many little cubes this rectangular prism or box can hold. It can hold 490 cubic inches. It's like if you could imagine, the little cubes here, right? So this one could hold 490, right, of those little cubes, something like that. All right, so of course they're smaller. So let's move on to slide 6. And you can pause this at any time so you can take the notes. So it says, let's find the volume of this prism. And the formula for a volume is the same, right? Volume equals area of the base times height. So we need to find what shape is the base here. And I see is a rectangle. We can just draw a rectangle, right? And so the formula to find the area of the base, length times width, right? So the length here is this one, which I think is equivalent to this. So I'm going to use this as the length. The width is this part. So I'm going to use 8. And so I'm going to substitute big B equals to 14 times 8. So 8 times 4, 32. 8 times 10, 80. 80 and 32, 112. What are the units? Oh, there's no units. So we'll write just square units. So we have this, right? 112 square units. The height is the distance between the two bases, which in this case is 7 units. So to find the volume of that prism, we would substitute, instead of B, we will write 12. Instead of H, we will write 7. So volume is 12 times 7, which is 84, right? 84, cubic inches, right? This is the capacity of this rectangular prism, right? So that's slide 7. We move on to slide 8. You can pause so you can take the notes. And it says, again, we need to find the formula for the volume, which is big B times H, right? Area of the base. We need the shape of the base. Here, the shape of the base here, again, is a rectangle, right? We can draw a rectangle. The formula to find the area of a rectangle is just length times width. So let's label here. This will be the length, which is 4, and the width is 5. So the length is 4, the width is 5. The area of the base here will be 4 times 5, which it'll be 20 square units. So we have the area of the base right here, which is 20 square units. Now we need the height, which is the distance between the two bases. So here, right, we will use 11 for the height of the prism, 11 units. So we substitute from this formula, we go volume equals big B, which is 20, times height, which is 11. Right. So the answer here will be 220 cubic units, right, for the volume of this rectangular prism. How many cubic units can that prism hold? 220 cubic units. All right, let's go on to the last slide for this little video. It says, but wait, what if the volume is given and I'm looking for the height? This problem, let's see, it says the prism below has a volume of 579.5 cubic centimeters. Joy needs to find the missing height of the prism right here. Notice here, we're missing the height. They are giving us here the length, right? They're giving us here the width, right? We're missing the height. That's what's missing. And they're giving us the volume, correct? So what should we do? Well, we definitely need to work the area back. This problem backwards. We need to find what is the area of the base here, right? What is the area of the base? We would have to say, okay, it's length times width, which is 12.2 times 5. So I'm going to find that first. I'm going to do that on the side, right? Or here on top. No. Here we write the formula for the volume, which is area of the base times height. But we need to figure out the B. B is length times width, which will be 12.2 times 5. And 12.2 times 5 is, I got this, 12.2 times 5 is 61. So the big B will be 61 square centimeters. This is unknown, but we have the volume, which is 579.5 cubic centimeters. So if you think about it, we do have, like from the formula, we have the volume check. We have the big B, which is the area check. We are missing the height. Right, so we're going to substitute what we have. I have the volume, so I'm going to write, instead of B, I'm going to write 579.5 cubic centimeters, right? Equals to, instead of B, I'm going to write 61 times H, because I don't know H, right? Here, we don't know H, so I'm just going to put H. So this is an equation, if you notice. So to solve this equation, all we have to do is use inverse operations. I see 61 is multiplying H, so I'm going to divide here by 61, and I'm going to divide here by 61. So if I divide 579.5, if I divide that by 61, we would get 9.5. So after dividing, this division will be 9.5 equal to H, because you cancel that, right? So the height of this prism is 9.5 centimeters, right? We did work backwards, but once you know how to solve equations, all you have to do is substitute the values that you know, which in this case, we did know the volume, we did know the big B, which is the area of the base. So you substitute those, and then you just solve the equation, right? The equation tells you what to do. So this is the end of the second video. All right. So take these notes, pause whenever you need to, and the next video is coming up.